subtle, natural aesthetics to personalized wellness care, everything we do is intentional. This is beauty with purpose. At Vibe Men's Health, we take that same approach. We focus on what matters most: strength, energy, and performance. Built on real data, real medicine, and real results, we're here to help you look better, feel stronger, and live fully. Come vibe with us today.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 9.
Good evening and welcome in here to the Room to Room Weather Center for Mississippi Live Weather at 9. I'm meteorologist Gabe, and while it wasn't very action-packed, at least not severe weather speaking here in North Mississippi, around us, well, there was quite a bit of active weather. Fortunately, we didn't experience that here, but some off and on showers through the night going to add to some significant rainfall totals because our story continues to be the flash flooding potential, and that also continues not just through the night, but through the week as well. I told you, keep the umbrella around. You'll be glad you did heading into parts of this week. But we do have a light at the end of the tunnel, something we can look forward to. And I feel like it's been quite a bit of time before I've been able to say that. Dry conditions are at least in our 7-day forecast. I know. Sound the alarm. It's a great time. Either way, it's not anytime soon. As we see the first 12, those rain chances do stick around even into the early parts of our Tuesday. We're 40% by 10, 30% by 1. And I do think that there is some dry moments in our morning commute and throughout those morning hours, but rain chances build on the back end of the day, and yes, it's going to be dodging a few rumbles of thunder as well. We're 70 degrees in Alcorn County, an area where it continues to experience some of those light to moderate showers. I'll say up there in Rienzi, going to be one of the last areas seeing these rain chances overnight as that low pressure system begins to shift its way towards the north. Oxford, another area we are watching with some of those light to moderate showers, but overall, not expecting anything overly strong and definitely no heavy downpours in the area. Down in Macon, 71 degrees right now. You can see just how saturated that forecast is with those headlights reflecting off those water droplets, and you can see how it becomes a little bit more widespread. That shows the sogginess of the atmosphere, 96% humidity. So even with the showers out of the picture, well, we're still going to be seeing some pretty soggy conditions overnight. As we look at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, we'll put it on a loop real quick because at 6 o'clock, we at least had a few rumbles of thunder. Now, that's come down in intensity, and we're seeing a much better trend overnight. Some of the heavier sections down there towards Highway 82, that's going to be just north of Highway 82, I should say, towards West Point and out there towards Caledonia. But overall coverage on that, very minimal. And if we're talking rainfall rates, that is not anything too extreme. The rest of us going to be basically getting more of those bands of rainfall working its way around this low pressure center. If we draw that in real quick, you can see how this low is basically right there. And those bands going to be just towards the south and east of it, working its way up there towards the north. And as that low shifts north, we'll take those rain chances with it. But overall, we have gotten a ton of rainfall here in the Twin States, including some active weather out there towards Alabama. You can see the flooding concerns down South Mississippi. Well, they had even more of that in Alabama as well. Level 1 risk still in play. And I will say about an hour ago, a brief tornado touchdown, a confirmed tornado touchdown just outside of Dothan. There we're getting one of our storm reports just outside of Dothan where they did have that confirmed tornado touchdown as well as some of the damage. So we are praying for those communities down there. I was watching a colleague of mine do some coverage on that, and he did a phenomenal job keeping people safe, and just appreciate all the hard work that they're doing, and hopefully everyone is okay after that tornado did touch down. Our friends at Panhandle Weather, they tracked an active system as well down there towards the coast. So if you were out there for Memorial Day weekend, well, you'll probably have to dodge a few of those heavy downpours and as well as a few of those strong storms. But fortunately here in North Mississippi, not the case, and we stayed away from any severe weather. But the low pressure system, like I mentioned, that's going to be the story overnight as it wraps those bands of rainfall through North Mississippi and will continue to progress further into the Tennessee area. Looking specifically on Futurecast, you can see how that trend will gradually work its way up north overnight, and by 2 a.m., a few heavy downpours possible. Overall, I think this is going to be more of a light to moderate rainfall. And I said it a lot last week, and I'm going to say it again tonight. This is good sleeping weather if you are fortunate to get those showers. So off and on showers definitely do stick around, and by 6 a.m. not going to be nearly as widespread in coverage, but I did tell you that it would have a moment of opportunity. Look at how thin our coverage is by 9 a.m. And the chances that we do have only going to be light to moderate in nature. So this is not going to be a significant threat, and those morning hours do stay mostly dry. But by the afternoon, a boundary moves into North Mississippi, and that will allow for additional storm development as well as a few additional heavy downpours. That's that 30% there by the afternoon. But overall coverage 10 to 20% for the majority of the day before the latter half of the day builds those rain chances into North Mississippi. So coming up after the break, we have a lot to talk about because we have plenty of rain chances in the forecast, and where that times out, we're looking county by county on our Futurecast for you here in North Mississippi and talking about those rainfall totals over this 7-day stretch. And yes, I told you light at the end of the tunnel. When can we expect that? We'll time that out for you as well. All as Mississippi Live Weather at 9 continues right after the break.
When C.K. Little opened his doors in downtown Corinth nearly 80 years ago, his plan was simple: deliver excellent service and exceed expectations. That's why we say a little gift goes a long way.
Every legend starts somewhere.
Not with perfection, but with the decision.
The decision to show up, work harder, and believe this place can change everything.
At Northeast, you're more than just a number.
We're built on opportunity, and our students are willing to rise to the occasion.
Here, success isn't handed to you, it's earned.
You don't just leave with a degree, you leave as a legend.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
I appreciate you guys sticking with us for Mississippi Live Weather at 9. What we're looking at over this 7-day stretch is a soggy pattern. Have you heard those words before? Well, you'll hear it again heading through this week, but I did tell you some light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to be through this work week, but towards parts of next week. You do see limited rain chances and maybe some dry days and maybe some sunshine as well. Who misses that? Been quite a while since we've enjoyed those conditions, as it's been a very soggy stretch. And like I said, it continues tomorrow with that flash flooding threat in place, that level 1 threat across North Mississippi. Why do we need to take this seriously? Well, there was some flooding down in South Mississippi today that unfortunately took the life of one individual. So we see that casualties can take place. And that's why we want you guys to stay safe. Don't get out on those roadways if you don't have to. Don't chance a county road that has a culvert beside it that might be washing out. We don't want to be in those circumstances, and we want to stay safe. So with this level 1 threat, I know it's not the highest threat, but it means there is still some potential for flash flooding. We want you guys to stay safe, monitor those conditions, and we will be here right here on Mississippi Live Weather, whether it's through the app or our social medias, letting you guys know of any of those areas that are being impacted, as well as going live as needed to let you guys know that as well. So we appreciate your support. Promise it's to keep you guys safe, and we plan on doing that for years and years to come, including into tomorrow. And it doesn't end tomorrow either. As we look towards Wednesday, another level 1 flash flood threat in place. So additional rain chance is going to amount to several more inches of rainfall on top of what has been a hefty load of rainfall here recently. Looking at our rainfall totals over the past 7 days, I told you this time last week that we were going to look at totals, and I said it's going to be over 5 inches. Well, that was such a low threshold. 6.8 in Shannon, Nettleton showing up about 6 inches, Caledonia 7 inches, just outside of Starkville 6.8 inches, Macon coming in with 8.8 inches. We have Winona 6.8 inches, Eupora 6.5, Hollandale, I know it's behind me, 7.5 inches. In Holmes County, we were sitting around 6.5. There south of Greenwood, 7 inches. So the point. And these are just a few of the bullseyes that I was able to pick out. If we go all the way down there towards Shuqualak, showing about 8.8 inches. If we, out there towards Senatobia, 5.3. So lots of areas that have gotten heavy rainfall, and that includes a couple of inches that were just from the day. Specifically looking down there towards Macon, just what came today was about 4.9 inches on top of the 8, or not in addition to, that amounted to 8.8 inches over that 7-day stretch. 4.9 came from today. So a lot of areas getting that rainfall, but you might be getting more rainfall today than what other folks did. And then yesterday might have been a whole different situation. So it's going to be those hit or miss showers. That's going to amount to a lot of rainfall for some and not as much for others. Our mama Justice Doppler radar indicating that as well. As those showers work up the Alabama state line, some of those going to have heavy downpours, but if you're in Chula, Hollandale, Cleveland, you're saying what rain showers? That's what I'm talking about. So a few of us dodging those rain chances, but the vast majority of us overnight still going to be dealing with those. And that includes out there in Mabin, as you see 72 degrees right now, that humidity at 100% because showers are still in the region. But luckily, you'll see it right here, no lightning. You will not hear rumbles of thunder tonight with this setup. If we get any of those reds to show up on radar, it's going to be those heavy downpours. Even out in Amory, 72 degrees, those bands working their way through the Alabama state line. Amory not too far away from that, but still not showing anything in regards to the thunder, lightning, or any of that heavy rainfall. And our Tupelo camera brought to you by the folks there at Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling. You can see the low cloud cover, the gloomy skies, and the rainfall not exactly showing up as much, but I will say I took a step outside and felt a few sprinkles coming down. So don't be shocked at all if you have to deal with those rain chances throughout any of those late night plans or even into your pre-dawn commute. 30% by 11, same thing by 2. And as we work our way towards 5 a.m., we're sitting around 20% coverage. Not a lot comparatively speaking, but it is still a chance here and there. And where it lines up for you, it could have a heavy downpour as well. So overnight, there's your low pressure system we've been talking about working its way north into the state of Tennessee. And it's going to take these bands up towards Tennessee with it. But on the back end, you can kind of see this wraparound moisture getting into the North Mississippi area. So additional chances are there, but very much isolated in development. Pop-up showers, pop-up storms definitely possible by 6 a.m. and even towards the rest of your morning as well. We'll track that out in just a moment. We're 66 Grenada and Eupora, 66 Louisville and Kosciuszko, 70 Vernon and Aliceville, so a little bit more of a mild environment out there, and 68 Belzona and Cleveland. Continuing through your day, it's not exactly a pool day forecast, but we still want to show you that IMPC pool day forecast. 8 a.m. we're sitting around 30%, noon 40%, and 3 p.m. those chances increasing throughout the day. We are 67 days until August 1st. So folks, it is still the countdown, and we're excited to get to officially August 1st, but of course it's got a long way to go. And of course, don't bring out the mowers tomorrow. We're still going to be dodging those rain chances. But as we look at Futurecast during those early morning hours, there's your isolated chances sticking around. But watch what happens during the afternoon. We've been seeing this time and time again this week, how those rain chances just start to blossom as we get into those afternoon hours. Not really by early afternoon, but by late afternoon, there's that boundary over there towards northwest Mississippi. And honestly, our latest HRRR model, I tell you guys at 9 o'clock, I look at it with you, it's come down in intensity on those rain chances too. So we could honestly bump those rain chances down tomorrow to about 30% because it is not going to be nearly as much coverage. We're 83 Bruce, Houston, and Eupora, 84 Greenwood and Greenville, 82 Tunica and Senatobia, so still going to be toasty, but our temperature's still below average. That's a good thing for this time of year, especially with temperatures supposed to be in the mid 80s. So we'll take all those days below average while we can. As the morning continues on, or the evening continues on and into those early morning hours of our Wednesday, there's your next frontal system moving in play, and this is going to have a few of those showers popping up back behind it, just that boundary adding to those rain chances. So Wednesday morning, definitely some hit or miss showers, but more miss than hit in the grand scheme of things, not amounting to a ton here in North Mississippi by Wednesday. We're 67 Water Valley, Oxford, Holly Springs, Grenada, 70 Cleveland and Greenville, 68 Amory, 69 Starkville. So still going to be a mild start, very similar to what we have been at and very similar to what we will be throughout the week. Our Wednesday morning stays mostly dry, but as we get into the afternoon hours, this is what we wanted to compare it to, is our strike model from earlier that was ambitious on those rain chances, still showing pretty decent coverage by noon, and still showing decent coverage by the afternoon. So verifying these rain chances more and more. So honestly, this latest run, we need to up those rain chances on Wednesday to about 40% in the grand scheme of things, and maybe even higher than that as the week goes on and as confidence does increase. But what we're going to get with this are some brief heavy downpours. I do think we get some rumbles of thunder with this setup, and Wednesday could be a little bit more of an active pattern than what we've had today, for our Tuesday. So 84 New Albany and Holly Springs, 85 Tupelo, Starkville, and Macon, 86 Kosciuszko and Belzona. So there's your average temperatures finally reaching that point. But as rain chances do stick around, that'll bring some of that rain-cooled air. But into parts of next week, rain chances come down. And temperatures, I'm really curious to see what they'll do next week, because with drier air comes more heat, and we'll see how things pan out next week. But definitely looking at that forecast ahead for the light at the end of the tunnel, freeing us from all of these rain chances. Over the next 7-day stretch, you can see Noxubee County having a little bit of a higher total because of what they've gotten so far today. But in the grand scheme of things, we're only looking at 1.5 to 2 inches in addition to the rainfall that we've already received, and that's much better than what we were tracking this time last week, where some of those totals were in excess of 5 to 6 inches. And we've had that verified so far on our Mama Justice Doppler radar. So as we look at that 7-day forecast, and I bring it back here real quick, of course, we are going to be looking at those rain chances through the week, but the heat, that's something to pay attention to, because as the week goes on, we do see those temperatures getting into the upper 70s by Monday. With that drier air, how does that pan out temperature-wise? That's definitely what I'm looking ahead to, but for now, we're paying attention to the rain chances, and we'll need to make some adjustments for that 10 o'clock. But Tuesday and Wednesday going to be some days where we watch some of those heavy downpours. Wednesday going to be a bit more widespread than the models have been indicating earlier on. So our short-range models, that's why we use them, lets us increase our confidence on these events, and of course, increasing our confidence in some heavy rainfall by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see those rain chances sticking around, and by the weekend, our weekend plans, unfortunately, going to be dodging some showers as well. Going to bring up the chat real quick. If you are on our socials, feel free to join the chat at any point and let us know any of your thoughts on the forecast, any questions that you guys have, or if you just want to say hey. And I see Brenda saying, hey, Gabe. Hello, Brenda. Happy Memorial Day, Kim, and happy Monday night. Watching from Macon, that is Sugar and Spice. Cool name, love that. Watching from Macon. Macon got quite a downpour today. If you have any of those rain gauge pictures too, love getting those. I've not emptied my rain gauge, and hopefully here, I think tomorrow is when I'll take a picture of it, because we'll have that full 7-day stretch, and I'll show that off to you guys. But I'm just going to tell you, it's a lot of rain. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys using us and trusting us with all of your weather information. If you do have any questions, feel free to put it down in the chat, but go ahead and download that Mississippi Live weather app to keep you updated. It has our Mama Justice Doppler radar, able to track out those rain chances close to you. Also alerts to let you guys know what's headed your direction. Rainfall, lightning, or even some strong storms. Not tonight, but we know we're in Mississippi and that forecast is ever changing. And if strong storms ever do enter the pattern, then of course our app will let you guys know. Our next broadcast is happening tonight at 10 o'clock. Can't wait to see you guys there. We'll look at some of those rain chances behind the scenes and assess that moving forward and track out some of the showers that we're dealing with right now. But of course, we appreciate you guys and your support. You guys have a magnificent Monday night, and we'll see you tonight at 10.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.